Hello everyone, this is Lawrence. Um, I'm just trying to keep myself busy. I know this is a very worrisome time and um, most of us are cooped up in our houses, but if you can find things to do, keep yourself busy, that's great. Revive a hobby or develop one, or just oh, this is a good time to do a top to bottom cleaning of the house or organize my files, do stuff like that. Keep yourself busy, keep yourself cheered up. This is a vinyl video. I just did a video of my guitar playing where I give a tutorial on how to play a Beatles song, so if you want to check that out, that's great. But if you see my videos, I'm an avid vinyl record collector, okay? And I also listen to a few albums from time to time. And with each find, I make a video before I of those finds before I take all those albums, incorporate them into the library. So I got a stack here. I want to organize and put them in the library, but I want to show them off in video. There's two types of vinyl record collecting. Okay, you could go for the newer vinyl, which you could get a lot of classic rock music from, because all these bands have reissued their stuff on 180 gram vinyl with all the bells and whistles. Or with me, when I find a new artist I like, and I kind of go off the beaten path. I'm not in mainstream popular music these days. Is just not my cup of tea. So what I do is do independent research, and I find artists who I really like, and there's a really a number of them out there who are not getting the attention they deserve. So I find these artists, and I will eventually buy their album, because I believe in supporting newer artists through vinyl purchase. It's kind of your vote of what you consider excellent. It tells the artist, although they may not get rich off of their people buying their vinyl because of the little volume, but it still conveys that your work is worthy of a purchase, of me putting some money to buy the vinyl, or if you want to get the CD, or download it and pay for it that way. That's your choice. So I'll buy stuff like, here's an album I featured by Michael Kayouka, if I pronounced the name right. It's his third album. I've been following this artist for some time. I liked loved his two previous albums, but this one came out, blew me away, and I said I'll buy it. So if you like Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, this would be a good companion album. And I posted an opening of this album, or a review of it. And I had a few people saying, oh, I love this album, or I'm going to get it, okay? This album here, it's, you need to listen to it. I mean, it's the old school album art, where the entire album is the artwork. It's just not a few feature songs here with fill-in. And you need to experience this album with a detailed, full attention listen to a few times. And then you can, gradually, if you don't have time to listen to it that way, but you should do it at least a few times, then that is a proper way to follow. And then after that, if you want to do a more casual listen, you can pick out certain songs you like, okay? But this is a complete album that should be experienced from beginning to end in full detail listening. a number of times before you can break it off to more casual listen. Okay, and then go back every once in a while and listen to the entire album. Enjoy the total album experience. So I kind of went off and just did a whole video on that album. Moving forward, there's something called thrift store vinyl collecting, and I know you have to go through all the Andy Williams and Jim Nabors and Herb Alpert type of albums, and I don't put those artists down. I think people who thrift store record buy should get some of those albums by Jim Nabors and Andy Williams and Herb Alpert, because good music. But also you got the bottom of the barrel, the religious music, the granny instrumental stuff, and just the junk. But in that you can find some very eclectic music of, jazz, some rock, folk, instrumental stuff, some unique stuff, and you just have to have a love, appreciation for the full spectrum of music. Just don't think music got here when you were born, and the only music that's good is the music that you grew up listening to. Think the history of music, the entire all eras of music, okay? And keep your mind open, which I have. So we're going to start out with a few finds, and the Reader Digest box sets at thrift stores are always laughed at. These are like mail-in, TV, or with Reader's Digest, I guess the magazine, of them offering box sets of like mood music, or Broadway hits, that type of stuff. But there's another company I like, and I want to tell you why I like them. And I have a hard time pronouncing their name, so there it is there. The Longines Symphonic Society. They were a big name in issuing out box sets, I guess through licensing of recordings from, other labels. I don't know how that worked. And these were, ads on TV, or I guess mail-in stuff, and you see them all the time at thrift stores. So Reader's Digest, and then this one right here. Okay, what I've been told is with Reader's Digest, their quality is not quite as good as this company, because what they did was they contracted the pressing of the albums out, and they didn't have the quality control because it wasn't in-house. But this company had their own pressing plants, and so they can keep an eye on the quality. And I agree with that in listening to both. Reader's Digest is very listenable and all that, but the Longe, they just seem to more good quality, cleaner, more fidelity in their recordings. And these usually come in a box set of 5 records. Okay, here's the Harry James and his orchestra. We're going to open this up. And it's so cool. And this kind of reminds me of the box sets now of classic rock they're releasing, like the Rolling Stones and all that. They have similar protective packaging, okay, and a nice thick right there. And you open this up. It has a drop down flip here, right there, along with this is look, you know, advertisement for more albums in this you know, dance era. Okay, it has a booklet, which is cool. The flip, it opens up more information about the history of the music, I guess, and gives you a complete a history along with a few photos. Okay, and like I said, 5 records. I'm not going to pull all 5 out, but with the Longines package, they include this really good high quality inner sleeve that has the plastic lining. So they really cared about the quality, along with the golden metal recording. Maybe that was the name of the pressing plant. So that is very cool, and I'm a big fan of big band music. I've got a huge collection, plus a really nice Time Life big band collection from Time Life that's been digitally remastered at half speed, which when you listen to them, oh, the sound just comes right at you. So that the epicenter of my big band music collection, along with a lot of other albums too. So this will go with the big band collection. And for $1.49, $1.50, this is a really great album to have of that era music. And I have to read to find out what decade these recordings are from, but I would imagine it's the 30s and 40s. Although after big band music died, Harry James continued on with smaller units of musicians. Big band, it became very, once it started to decline, it became very hard to maintain a big band because of all the travel and expenses, and that music was in decline market-wise, okay? Not artistically, but market-wise. It happens a lot. Okay, another Longines Symphonic Society is Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. I'm not going to take this one apart. You know, very similar. It doesn't have the flip down, but it has a booklet right there. And I would imagine that all of these were put together. They had to go licensing with the labels that the original recordings was on. And Herb Alpert started A&M Records, and that was the label he released his albums on. So for this to happen, I guess there was some kind of licensing agreement. Anyway, this set right here, for the disc is Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. And then the fourth one is the Baja Maraba Band, okay, which was a Mexican, a group that played, you know, Mexican style music, you know, for the masses. They were popular, you know, back then. Latin pop was very popular in the 60s, early 60s, and started to see a little bit decline as the later 60s came along. But Herb Alpert was huge, okay? And I got actually a lot of the classic Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass albums. And while they're ridiculed, I encourage everyone to pick up each album of Tijuana and the Brass from, the early 60s, the classic stuff, if you find them in good playable condition. And they're still out there, it's just, playable condition, if they're in that good. But I have this now, which is cool, another $1.50 purchase. And the Baja Maraba band, I mispronounced it. They were a musical outfit that dressed in traditional Mexican style clothing with the mustaches. It was kind of a gimmick, and there was about 12 of them, and their music is pretty fun. I don't like it as much as Herb Alpert. I mean, Herb Alpert was magnificent, what he put out during that time. So happy to have this. One more of this series of box set. Herb Alpert, not Herb Alpert, Al Hirt. Al Hirt is a famous jazz trumpeter, and while he wasn't as innovative like Miles Davis or John Coltrane, what Al Hirt can do was he could play the hell out of his instrument. I mean, he could get some sweet sounds, some great sounds out of it. And this is his good stuff before he went commercial, the Dixieland stuff. You put this on, you'd be, jumping. Actually, I had this box set right here, okay? I got it about 3 years ago for $5, 5 discs in there. But I ran across it at the Union Mission thrift store for 20 cents. And it's in excellent condition. All the vinyl, very playable, hardly been played. Okay, and so that's very cool. So I'm going to give this to my friend, who's my vinyl buddy, because he's been wanting this. So since I have my copy, I'll give him this. Okay. One thing about these box sets, I don't know if I mentioned that. These were offered through mail or through Reader Digest. I guess that was tied into the magazine, and the customer would get them. They may play them once, if at all. I mean, it's a lot of music, and they got shelved. And that person dies, and their children, in settling the estate, they bring these albums to the thrift store, which you see a lot of them, and so that's what happens. But you can find some good ones. I have more in the vinyl room too. So don't disregard these, okay? Especially the ones I showed you. One more. Duke Ellington at Fargo, 1940 live. And this is a Book of the Month. I have a Book of the Month collection of Judy Collins. It's magnificent. It's 5 discs along with a nice informative book that was part of the Book of the Month Club. Okay? So this is another in the series. And there's 3 discs in here. They're all playable condition. They need a little cleaning up. And then you have this booklet with magnificent photos and text. Recording dates. Look look at that. That's magnificent. That's a great photo of musicians from the big band era in action. More photos. You know, and it has the who's who's of the Ellington band. I mean, just the photos alone, the booklet alone, is worth what I paid for this. And I only paid 20 cents. Union Mission, 3 discs, and it has the plastic lining. I just need to clean them up. Well, I got that. What I'm going to do, I got more records to show since I spent so much time on those and the Kayuka album. I'm going to end this video and just do another one of everything else I wanted to show. Okay, so take a break, go get a cup of coffee, dessert or something. Check your social networking and come back. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for watching this video. Thumbs up are great, but I love comments. So please, I encourage you to do a comment, but I'll take the thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Bye. Stay tuned for the next part 2.